Are you still using GitHub Desktop to access your repository? A true IDE has to be able to cover everything. This includes interacting with your version control, for instance with Git. So the common choice for Git today, I guess, is GitHub, and that's why I show you how to combine GitHub and Visual Studio Code. Hi, Zen here, and thanks for joining. The first thing we need to do is to get the extension that connects GitHub with Visual Studio Code. This one is called GitHub Pull Requests and Issues. So we go to this extension and either install or enable it. In this case, I just need to enable it because I have already installed it. Then we see that here appears an additional GitHub icon, or we see also that from your accounts there is a sign in requested, which is the sign in to GitHub. So what we do here, we click on this GitHub icon and then we sign in. What we need here is to allow this, and then it will move you to your browser and to your GitHub account. So probably you need to log in here. Because we want to do this, we just click continue, and then it tells you something like, if we go back to the browser, something like success, and redirects you to your Visual Studio Code. And then we already see that this thing here is filled with more content, so I can see pull requests, reviews, issues, and everything that this plugin requires, but later more on that. And the second thing that I also want to do is that I see that this one is also now correctly logged into GitHub. I can also use it for other extensions, for instance Git Lens, so it also does make sense to do the same for Git Lens. If you want to access GitHub via Git Lens as well, then you basically need to do the same the second time. And then also this one goes away because now I'm just logged into GitHub for all my extensions. So let's see what this extension allows us to do. If we go to the code, the first thing that the extension allows us is to include contributors to the repository in comments. So for instance, if I now write a comment and I type here something like Zenzapiel, then I can hover over it and I see now this card, and clicking here I will be redirected to this particular user in GitHub, which is especially helpful if you want to assign specific tasks and comments or have questions and reviews or something like that. There it's really good if you can just redirect to a specific user. Now the second thing that is really cool is if I, for instance, write something like to do, then we see that this bulb here appears, which says show code actions, and here I can now use this to do that I have in a comment to create an issue in GitHub. Because having to-dos in comments in the code is usually bad practice to track all your changes in your software and also to understand what still is missing, to have an overview about the roadmap of your software. Because all of this you should highly avoid to-dos in code, and you should always create issues for that. So if we go here for the issues, I can then just edit the description, for instance, and then I can say this here is an important change. And I can also already assign labels or assignees and even put a more detailed description here, and I automatically get now the ticket description and the link in my GitHub. So here I see I typed here in, here is an important change, and I can also put this here in the description. And as assignee, I can just put myself here, so something like Zapiel. And then I can just press this button here and create the issue. And we are done, and it's basically replacing this already with the right comment. And now I will show that to you in a second, but let's go here to the GitHub, where I'm in the repository, and now under the issues of the repository, I see that this issue here has now been created without me going into GitHub, without doing anything outside of Visual Studio Code. So this was opened 20 seconds ago by myself, and I already have assigned it to me, and now I can just put any labels or whatever if I still need to modify description, and so on and so forth. Now if I go back to Visual Studio Code, it has already replaced this to-do by this symbol here and the ticket number 3. And if I hover over it, I can already see a very brief description here of the ticket that's involved. So if I want to look at the code and there are comments which point to specific issues, you can directly see the issue here and see what it's all about. Also without moving outside of your Visual Studio Code, you can just stay here and have all the information at one place together. Since there's now an issue that is already assigned to me, I can go back to this GitHub page here, and in the issues I will see that now there is this new issue added that I have just added via Visual Studio Code, and now I have the possibility to work on this. So I can say that I want to start working on this issue, and if I click this button, it will automatically put this issue that it's been working on. So it will put it into the develop list, and it will check out here the branch. So we see that it's already on the branch Sensapiel/issue number 3, and this is really cool feature. So you do not need to create the branch, check out the branch. It does everything already for you. So let's just pretend that I have done the necessary changes to fix this. So I can just say that add code, whatever code this now is, but just for the sake of this showing the pull requests. And then I can go into the source control. And here what is also cool is it already puts me the description that this one fixes issue number 3, because I'm on the issue number 3 branch, so no need to type here anything. I can just say that this one here goes to the staging area. I stage the changes and I say this here's an important change for fix number 3, and I can commit this one. Now I have committed it, and then I can publish it to GitHub by publishing the branch, because right now the issue branch is just locally. You can publish this specific branch, just follow basically here the instructions, and now it's published to my repository. And now it asks me either here that I want to create a pull request, or I can also do it here in the GitHub pull requests. But let's go here and say that I want to create this pull request, and we see here that the origin of the changes is from the issue and issue 3 branch, and we want to merge those changes into the main branch. So we can also put here a nice title, something like show how PRs work with VS Code. And then obviously also put a description. I could mark it as a draft, but otherwise I can just press create, and then this pull request is created. And now in my GitHub, I also have now this pull request. I can see the commits that are inside this pull request. I can see the changes that are inside this pull request. I can see the overview. I can do comments. I can basically everything that I can also do in GitHub itself without ever leaving here Visual Studio Code. I can check this out, refresh it, and so on and so forth, and even merge the pull request by creating a merge commit. So for instance, I can just press this one and create the merge commit. And yes, probably there are still uncommitted changes, but I'm not really interested in those because, I mean, this was now just an example, right? And now let's have a look at the results. So basically I was here. I see that the issue is already closed because I have now closed the pull request that was due to this issue. In the pull request, I can see there are no open pull requests, but I see that there is one closed pull request. So if I go here, I see that this one is already closed. And if I now go on the code level, I also see that the changes, here we see that this here is an important change. This was the commit that I did 3 minutes ago. It's already on the main branch. What I wanted to show you today is how to integrate Visual Studio Code and GitHub. And if you use here the right plugins, it's really easy, really straightforward, and can improve your working experience quite a lot. If you enjoyed the content, please hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, enjoy coding.